Okay. Thank y'all so much for joining me today. And so this is actually a continuation of something that I started in the new year last month. And I like to call them fitness pep talks. And so today's topic we will be talking about is, when your loved ones don't support you, when you actually want to get in on your fitness journey or you want to get started, and then, as you get into it, you're realizing that you're not getting the support from the people that you were expecting support from, and just having a conversation about that. Um, so my mission as workout buddy, before we get started, just as a little introduction to people who don't know me. By the way, I want to stop and say thank you to my beautiful mother, Gwen, and my beautiful mother-in-law, Oshila, for joining me today in this discussion. So like I said, we'll be talking about support on your fitness journey. So for those who aren't familiar with me as Workout Buddy, my mission is to help as many busy professionals as possible learn how to successfully incorporate healthy habits into their lifestyles so that they lose weight and keep it off once and for all. A big part of this journey is realizing what your power is, what you have control over as far as how you look and how you feel, in spite of, what you have going on in your day-to-day life. And just some basic core value things that I really promote with my clients is you choose how you age. All the choices you make now are going to impact you in the future. Is so much more than how you look in your clothes. It's also your ability to move and function and be as independent as possible as you age. While I am a personal trainer, so people initially come to me for weight loss. But what I try so hard to communicate to everybody is that I'm more so in the business of changing mindsets, because everybody has been around long enough to know that you know how to lose weight, you know what to eat, you know that you need to exercise, you know you need to drink more water. But it's just not connecting, because these are things we know we need to do, yet we're not doing them. So it's about changing your mindset, rewiring your thoughts and ideas when it comes to fitness and wellness as it pertains to you. Also, you are not your thoughts. A lot of us are in our heads all the time. We think these things, these thoughts over and over about ourselves, about our abilities, about our appearance. And most of the time, those thoughts are negative. So it's just getting to the understanding that you are not your thoughts, you're the observer of your thoughts. So any negative thoughts that you may have, sit back and reflect on them, figure out where they're coming from, what is the evidence of that, and come up with evidence to counter that. If the voice is telling you that you're weak or whatever, come up with some evidence. Well, I'm not weak because I was able to do this, this, and this, for example. And then learning how to practice self-discipline in spite of lifing. I talk to a lot of women who are like, oh, once things slow down, or I was doing well, but then life started lifing, or life got busy. But it's a matter of learning how to be self-disciplined in spite of or while life can, because life's not going to take a break for you to get your shit together, right? But ultimately, there's not enough emphasis on the mental and emotional part of the journey, the conversations that need to be had, the self-discovery. So that is overall, the purpose of these discussions, to talk about these other things that are really important when it comes to a successful fitness journey. So today, like I said, I created this slideshow because I tend to go off on tangents and ramble, and then I forget what I was saying. So I'm hoping that with this slideshow, it'll help me stay focused on task so that we can actually, stick to the conversation at hand. We'll be talking about, starting off, what are your thoughts, beliefs, and values about your weight loss? That's the first thing to start with. Regardless of what support we get or don't get from other people, ultimately, what are your values when it comes to being healthier? Then I wanted us to talk about the importance of support on your fitness journey. We'll be identifying some red flags, things to look out for when you're not getting that support, because some of it can be obvious and sometimes it's not. And we'll also look for some green flags, because a part of it too is being able to recognize when people are providing support in what different ways. And then finally, what you can do, because I want to remind you that a big part of my mission is to help people recognize their own power. So if you're in a situation where you feel like you aren't getting the support that you feel you need, then it's a matter of figuring out what you can do, because we're not going to give other people that power. We're not going to say, well, I can't be healthier because these other people won't let me be great. We're not giving them that. So first, like I said, we'll start with your thoughts, beliefs, and values about weight loss. So I have some questions here, I guess kind of rhetorical, or I mean, I didn't want this to be a whole lecture thing. I mean, if we have, conversation, that would be great. But these are just some questions that I wrote down that maybe you could ask yourself in your own time, or, anyways. So the first question, what are you telling yourself when it comes to the idea of you being fit and healthy? I think, when we talk about, I want to be fit or I want to be healthy, it's like this disconnect, right, between that idea and us. So, that's why I want to start with, what are you telling yourself when it comes to the idea of you being fit and healthy?
Well, early on in the process, I think one of the thoughts is, especially if you've got a large amount of weight to lose, and your thought is, this is going to be too hard. It's going to take too long. It's going to, you want to look at it. What I've come to understand is that it's a marathon and not a sprint, because you want to look at it that I want to be able to have lost, 80 pounds in a month. Can I do that? Well, no. And it's unrealistic. And so the first part is being realistic in your thoughts about what you're going to lose, how you want to lose it. You didn't gain whatever you gained in 2 months, and it's not going to happen then, but we're impatient and we want it now, as opposed to looking at it as a change of your life and not just a situational thing that you're going to do for a couple of months and then you're going to go back to your real life. Nah, that won't work.
Yes. I think, is there anything that you wanted to share, Mommy?
Oh.
I'm not trying to put y'all on the spot. If you, like I said, if you.
No, yeah, we speaking, candidly here. A lot of times, you see like these pictures of people on TV and all this kind of stuff. Oh man, I want to look like her. And like what Sheila said, some of the stuff just not realistic. And I mean, I used to think that way years ago, but now I know how much better I feel. And looking at myself, I said, okay, I'm happy with the way I look. And of course, I like to tone up some more. And I love the workouts, because not only the physical part, but the mental part. The mental part seems to be over 50% for me.
Yes.
And after, when you have the mental part, everything else just falls into place. And
Right.
So I am happy with myself, and I know that I can maintain that with the workouts and also improve my mental faculties.
Right.
And the thing that both of y'all mentioned was what the next question is, what that voice in your head is telling you. And like you said, it's a process, it's a journey where you start mentally. At first you tell yourself, I can't do this, this is too hard, and then eventually you get to the point where you're like, I can do this, I am capable. And so, and then if you're not careful, if you are starting off with a negative voice in your head, and then you don't have somebody around you who's being supportive, then that's another opportunity for you to back out of that commitment to yourself. Well, they're not supportive of me, and I don't think I can do it anyway, so I'm just wasting everybody's time.
Right.
Yeah, so that inner dialogue is definitely really important. What are you telling yourself about what you're capable of? And if you have never been fit before, then you have to be extra careful and extra aware, and extra intentional of those thoughts in your head. Now, another question is, do you tend to fight battles on your own, or do you reach out for support? And this doesn't have to be specifically related to fitness and wellness, but just in general, because that's another part to consider. If you are starting something new that requires a support system, but you're not accustomed to reaching out for support, then what does that look like?
Well, definitely having the support system makes makes a world of difference, because at home you could have a partner who is equally in need of physical changes and all of that kind of thing. And with the two of you together and both trying to support, assist something that neither one of you have necessarily been real successful at, then the odds are you're going to find a reason not to continue, find a reason for it not to be successful. One of the changes that helped and continues to help me is having a support group. Our Gwen was dead on it when she says our classes are not just about the workout. That's so very important and has made such a difference in your life. But it is a group of people coming together with the same purpose in mind. And so when you hang around a group of people they say, if you want to be successful, you fly with the eagles, or do you fly with the turkeys? You want to fly with the eagles. We have a group of eagles who we enjoy each other's company, but we're in there and we work hard and we sweat, but it still can get some laughing. And so it becomes this thing of a mental group that you miss them when you don't do a workout as much as you miss the workout.
Definitely, yeah. So group support is definitely a big part of that too. And we will talk more about that later. But and I think that's something that we didn't really consider if we're talking about, our virtual group workouts that we're talking about that we do 3 mornings a week. And we get on, hey y'all, good morning, we press mute, and then we get into it. And I think initially when people join the group, that's not something that they consider. They just think, okay, I need to lose weight and I need some accountability, and it's in the comfort of my home, I don't have to leave the house. But then once you get into it, like you said, that energy with the group and everybody working on a common goal of being better than they were the day before or the week before, that is rewarding, and that helps you to stay focused on your goals and to feel more confident in your abilities and to feel that you're supported. So also too, it's a matter of knowing identifying what your definition of support is and what your idea of support is, because that's going to look different for different people. There are some people who I have some clients that are like, I don't want any attention about it. I haven't told my friends or family. You're the only person that knows that I'm working on this. And then I have other people that are posting every week and tagging me like, hey y'all, look, this is what I'm doing, And so I realize that everybody's different as far as the source of support that is required of them. But, in going forward, it's important to know what that is for you so that your expectations match what you're more likely to get in reality. And if you know what you want and the people around you and they can't give it to you, then you know that you need to go somewhere else to seek that.
And like the people, like what you just mentioned, especially like when I was working, if you decide to, oh, I'm going to go on this diet, do this, or I'm going to do this and do that. And they constantly come at, how much have you done? How much? I mean, that's a lot of pressure. So I can understand why people are keeping that to themselves. And then when you're not showing a sign of what you've told these people you're going to be doing, you feel like you failed, and then next thing you know, you're in a state of depression and all this, and it just keeps snowballing. But I mean, I have a support system here too with the workouts. Because I always say I'm not missing my workouts. I mean, that's huge. And like on the off days from the workouts, sometimes on the same day, I'm still, keep it active because it just makes me feel so much better and everything. And so yeah, it's just better in the long run. So I have a great system as well.
The support is to Gwen's point, the support is very important. It really is. Yes. But you need to be very selective in who you believe are going to be your support systems, because not everyone, and maybe that's some of what we'll get to later on, not everyone that, when you're starting out and you say, okay, I'm going to be doing this, I'm going to lose, I'm doing this workout, and almost everyone will say, oh, that sounds so good. And then you start coming into situations where maybe you actually are showing a difference. And that is there's some that's not observed so as much as enthusiastically as you thought it would be, and then
don't accept it well.
Yeah, you're looking different, or I love the one where you're acting different. Well, two things: I am a little different, but I'm still here. And I'm acting different because I feel good. And that should be something that your support group or support team or support persons are looking for. Yeah, you look like you're much more upbeat. But I think sometimes your successes, whatever they are, sometimes people will look at them and somehow see that as some indictment against them or whatever. It's not about you. This is just about what it is, a journey I'm choosing to do. And and I would appreciate your support. So be careful of your support. Sometimes even when they're supporting the diet thing, and they'll say, you sure you're supposed to eat that? Now I know they think that's being supportive.
I didn't ask you to do all that.
I didn't ask you to do that.
Like, hey girl, let's go out to lunch, and after, no, I'm not gonna do that.
Yes,
now, can you eat that? Yeah, I'm eating it. Cause mind your business.
Right. Those are such good points, because you have to eat. You absolutely have to be careful. You're right. You got to tell the right people who are going to provide the right amount of support. Yes. We're going to talk more about that.
Have a lot to say about that.
Yes, right. I'm like, just wait. I got about 5 slides just for that. No. But before we get even further into this already amazing conversation, I just want to touch on the importance of support. Yes. So knowing that others are cheering for you will do so much for your motivation. Motivation is fleeting. That's when I have these calls, the initial call with somebody, and they say, I'm like, well, what brings you here today? And they say, well, I'm motivated to, and I'm like, that don't mean nothing to me, because by the time, 5 o'clock hits, I'm not going to hear from you. So that you're motivated now, but let's find something else. But motivation can do so much for you moment to moment when you have it. And so when you have people around you cheering for you, really genuinely excited for you and your efforts, that means a lot. Something else that I also want to point out is embracing constructive criticism. Because like you said, you have the people like, you supposed to be eating that? At the time, you're mad and you're like, please mind your business. I did not ask you, okay? But at the same time, or it's like, I've noticed, like, I know you said that you were on a mission to lose weight, and you haven't worked out in the past week. So what's up with that? So it's a fine line between, the accountability and, just making sure that you don't lose, you're not discouraged. And then once again, bringing us back to the point that y'all just made as far as being selective with who you're picking to play that role with you. I want to go back to emphasize one of the original points I made about the mental and emotional part of this journey, and just self-discovery, what you learn about yourself on this. It's more than just I'm going to eat these foods and I'm going to do these exercises. Because if you are, on days 1 and 2, you're motivated and you got up and you worked out, you ate your salad, you skipped dessert. Okay. But day 3 is a struggle. That is an opportunity for you to challenge yourself and to step beyond your comfort zone and to really show yourself what you're capable of doing. And fostering resilience. Sometimes we fail, but those temporary failures aren't, an overall failure of your journey. And so, support can just having somebody there for you while you process all these changes that are going on with you. It'll just help with the longevity of it. And it requires having someone to reflect on, as you break down these old ideas and develop new ones. It's good to have. That's why they encourage you to have buddies and things like that. If you go on a diet with or start a workout regimen with, on those days that y'all are struggling, you can both vent to each other and you can understand where each other's coming from. So those things are really important in the journey. So we have here some red flags when you do make the decision to be healthier and to start to make those healthier choices, and then you're talking to people around you, whether it's your friend group or your spouse, your coworkers. These are some things to look out for. Potentially, they may perceive your lifestyle changes as a threat to your relationship. Oh well, if our whole friendship, if our whole relationship is based on brunch every Sunday, bottomless mimosas and turning up every Thursday and dinner every Saturday, then that's going to be a huge adjustment. So, depending on where other people are in their journeys, they may be threatened by that. Friends and family may worry that you're judging their eating habits. Like I say, it's not about you. But when you're insecure and there's something you need to be doing, when you see somebody else doing it, that's going to make you feel threatened. Now all of a sudden I got to start eating salad. No, nobody said that. Nobody said that. But it just triggers things in people. And so it's just a matter of being aware of those. Your spouse may be afraid that if you lose weight, you'll no longer be attracted to them and they will lose you. That's a real conversation that I've had with some of my clients. And when I don't have a little typo here. Trying to avoid them. I don't know what that was about. Ignore that. But oh yeah, when they think that you're trying to avoid them, and you're just making these lifestyle changes and you're establishing boundaries and trying to be more strict with yourself, and reeling all that in. But ultimately, it's a matter of understanding where these people are coming from. It's easy to say, oh, they're just haters. They just hating, But, if you look deeper than that, it takes a lot to acknowledge. Well, I was going to say it takes a lot to acknowledge you need to lose weight, but that's not true. People tell me all the time that they need to lose weight. It takes a lot to take those first steps to actually be healthier. And so a lot of people are uncomfortable with stepping out of their comfort zone and doing things differently from how they've been doing them. So if somebody close to them is doing those things, it just triggers a lot of emotion and thoughts. So, just being careful with that. But, oh, I didn't. Oh. So here are some more specific examples of red flags. Sometimes it could be covert, just, undercover, hidden, being uncooperative with meal or schedule changes. For example, I have a client who it was like a scheduling issue as far as the end of the day when she could work out, and she needed her husband to take over, bath time and dinner for the kids a couple of times a week so she could work out. And the first couple of weeks it was fine, but then he started flaking and, oh, well, I'm tired. I've been busy all day. You take the kids, or just kind of, oh, I forgot that you had your workout, and just things like that. Lack of acknowledgement or belittling of efforts, making patronizing comments about your weight or your weight loss. Um, oh, your nasty ass food that you're gonna eat, or your dry ass salad, or ew, what is that green stuff you're drinking? Things like that. Sometimes it can be obvious. These are real comments that I've had clients tell me that they've heard. You've always been fat. You can't change. You don't have time to work out. I don't want you to lose weight. If I wanted somebody skinny, I'd be with somebody skinny. You're wasting our money. You're not gonna stick with it. Or since you, like you said, since you started losing weight, you've been acting funny, or you look sick. These are all very discouraging things to say. So these are, again, red flags. So if you haven't put two and two together already, if you've heard these things or experiencing these things, that means that you need to look elsewhere for another support system. Another red flag is enabling. I've had clients who, their significant other, they said, babe, you have been doing so great on your diet, so I'm going to take you out to dinner. Here's a cupcake. How is that helping me? How is that helpful? But it's a form of sabotage. And there's also the nonverbals, the eye rolling, the side eyes, all those things. And then a violation of boundaries. Like I said, flaking on childcare during workout times, misplacing your equipment, or using your designated workout space as storage. I've heard about women experiencing that. And then, having the conversations with your friends like, hey, I'm on this journey, so I'm not going to be able to join y'all for brunch. And they completely ignore that and continue to send you invitations. Like, girl, come on, you don't need, it's been 2 weeks. That's long enough. Come meet us for drinks. So those are all red flags. Can y'all think of any others? I mean, I know we already touched on these before, and but did I leave anything out?
I was looking at the list, and first of all, I was feeling a bit of gratitude, because as much as I may, fuss about my husband, but for many things, it's not been an occasion where there've been a lot of unsupportive kinds of conversations and things like that. So that was my first thought. Some of the other things that may not seem like they're red flags, but can make your journey a little bit more difficult is, one thing I will say about him is that he's a very picky eater. And so when you decide that part of your journey will require you changing some of the ways that you prepare meals and that you do things, and I won't get a conversation if it's something that's just really intensive, a salad and grilled chicken, for example, to start with, which, by the way, he has learned to start eating that also. Good. But early on, it would not be that he would be overtly uncooperative or supportive, but he'd pick around at that meal, and then he'd get up and go fix a peanut butter sandwich. Well, that makes you feel like, okay, I'm disappointing someone, I'm letting them down. And so you've got to deal with yourself and get to the point of saying, what this is about me. You have the choice to either fix what you want to eat and not be overly concerned about it, or you get on board. So over the years, since this journey is a marathon, he's gotten a little better. His palate has increased some, and so some of those things are easier to do. And the other part of it is that when he then wants to go get that peanut butter sandwich, I'm good with it. That's okay. That's
you don't take it personally anymore.
I don't take it personally. So that's kind of a mini red flag, especially if you're kind of a people pleaser.
I was just about to say that. Yes. And that could really be a whole nother, actually, that might be our next topic. Thank you. But if you are a people pleaser, that would definitely be a big issue for you. And,
right.
You want to make sure everybody in the house is happy. Right. And then that ultimately means you going back to eating chicken nuggets like everybody else in the house.
Correct. And so
I'm sorry, go ahead, though, Sheila.
No, I was going to say, yeah, you're absolutely right. No, go ahead, Gwen.
So I was gonna say with me, you know, I just eat. It's just me. But I do, of course, you know, have what I want. You know, as far as I mean, we always ate pretty much that way anyway. Because you know, between you know, when you were here, so but I will. You know, every once in a while, you want to have something. I haven't had that in a long time. Maybe just have it like on a Sunday or something. Just
Mhm.
and then after that, just continue on with the way we're eating before, you know,
Right.
salads and the salmon and the, you know, all the vegetables, which I love anyway, and Mike loves
Right.
type of food too. So that's really not an issue, but it's good to. And if we don't want to have something special or go out somewhere, you know, get something, we don't do it. It's not like we have to do it or it's tradition. We got to do it. It's not like that. It's like, you know, if we have, it's like, oh, why not? But other than that,
Right.
fortunately, it's
Right.
not.
Yeah, you definitely want to find that balance. Like you said, you're not completely cutting all of this out of your lifestyle, but
Right.
it helps if once you find that healthy balance for you, but then also being with somebody who shares in that same balance. That
Yes.
just makes it a lot easier.
Mhm.
So we've been talking about all these red flags, but I also want to talk about green flags because Sheila, something that you just brought up that was interesting in that was acknowledging that you actually do have a good support system, and sometimes if we're getting started on this journey, we don't know what that looks like, and just being able to point that out. And also too, if you have somebody, if you're with somebody who doesn't know how to be supportive but they want to, these are just some ways to do that. Of course, I'm always gonna start with accountability. You made this promise to yourself. It's easy to make promises to other people, and to fulfill them. I have so many people telling me, well, I'm going to hire you as my accountability coach because I know if I tell you I'm going to show up, then I'll show up. And in my head, I'm like, why can't you just tell yourself to show up and then show up?
Right.
Like, you
Right.
matter to yourself more than I do. But
Right.
whatever gets you started. The accountability, cheering for you, acknowledging your efforts, that's another part of it too. And knowing that this is hard and that you are you're trying your best and you're doing something that you've never done before and trying to be consistent with all that. In addition to lifing, it can be hard. So having somebody just acknowledge, maybe not every single day or with every single meal, but just, from time to time, like, I see you putting in work and you are inspiring me and I'm proud of you. Having somebody that will talk you off the ledge. Some days, like I said, you're going to be motivated, and then some days it's going to be a struggle. Like, I just want to go home, stop by Wendy's on my way home, and drink a bottle of wine and lay on the couch until I go to sleep because of the day I've had. And while those days are essential for your mental health, you want somebody that's will make sure that you're not going to stay in that place. Or instead of drinking a whole bottle, let's just drink half tonight and see how you feel in the morning. You want somebody that's going to respect your boundaries. Again, childcare during workouts, that's a big one that I see a lot. Assistance with grocery shopping and meal prepping. No push. No, and that assistance can just be agreeing to eat whatever it is that you make and not complaining about it. No pushback on menu changes, respecting your workout space and your equipment, and eliminating opportunities that will tempt you. That's another thing that I hear about women too. I'm like, well, how did it go this week? Well, I cooked all these meals and here he comes with cookout, for dinner. And, it's hard because he knows I love cookout. Also, seeing this as a financial investment and honoring it as such. I've talked to women who were damn near in tears talking about how they were ready to change, they were ready to get healthy. But then when it comes down to actually paying for the services, well, my husband doesn't think that that's a good thing for us to do right now financially. But in our conversation, you told me that you eat out almost every day, which all those things add up. You get your nails done regularly, your hair done regularly. I'm not judging, but it's, are you seeing this as an investment in you And then is your support system seeing it as an investment? And then it may be that they will want to join in on the journey with you. You know, like I said, wow, you're really inspiring me. So look, make 2 salads, write double, you know. So that's another green flag to look out for as well. I want to go back to, I'm sorry, are there some other green flags that I left out?
No, I like that.
I can't think of anything.
Okay.
So like I said, ultimately it's about recognizing your own power. We don't want to put so much of our future and our health in the hands of other people and their opinions of us and our journey and their comfort with it. So some things that we can do that are in our control. First, when it comes to your loved ones, remind them that your lifestyle changes will not affect your relationship with them. Having an open dialogue with them about it. Coaching them on how they can help you. Express gratitude when they do help you. Be patient, just as you are making these changes in your life and you play such a big role in these people's lives and you're changing, you have to give them time to adjust to those changes. Especially, like I said, if it's triggering something in them, give them time to kind of process it, as long as they aren't being abusive. Gently point out how their behavior hinders you. Let them know, well, when you do this, this is how this affects my progress. Or when you don't follow through on XYZ, this is how it affects, my journey. And just really stress the importance of it to them. And be responsible. In the long run, you have to be committed to yourself and your goals, no matter what your friends and family choose to do. So, it would be great to have their support, but at the end of the day, you have to be your own advocate and your own support. So some other things, like I said, be your own, or let's see, what is this? Yes, tailoring your support system. So not all support is created equal. You may have people in your circle that are good for, cheering you on. You have some people that are going to be better for, hey, my girlfriend loves salads, so I want to still be social. So there's this new salad bar downtown. I'll take her. You have a friend who likes hiking. So you say, hey, they like moving their body. Would you be open? I'll come hiking with you if you come to this aerobics class with me. Learning how to be your own fitness buddy, like I said, and giving yourself grace while you develop resilience and accountability for yourself. That is a hard lesson to learn, but it is definitely something that will take you so far on any journey that you're on. You want to surround yourself with like-minded people. I'm sorry, was there anything that y'all wanted to, am I going too fast?
No. Go ahead.
So yes, surrounding yourself with like-minded people. We talked about the group and how awesome that is, because even most mornings when we don't really have those conversations, it's just understood that we are like-minded, because this is something that we've all made a commitment to do for ourselves, and showing up consistently, having conversations like this, having friends who can relate to the frustrations and also the accomplishments that you experience along your fitness journey. Reach out to friends and family members who are also interested. And reach out to me. Let's state the obvious. Having a workout buddy who understands and shares your challenges and successes, who's knowledgeable and trained on physical fitness and nutrition, and who has a background in education and psychology, and just to give you the tools and the support and the guidance and all of that you need to not only lose the weight, keep it off, but also build confidence in yourself.
All right.
So I have here just some reflection questions that I wanted to leave everybody with. I can just leave this up if you want to write these down for later. I'm very big on journaling. I am always encouraging my clients and other people to journal. It's just a good way to just kind of reflect and get your thoughts out and formulate them, because if they're in your head, they're just swirling and there's no direction that they go in. So when you just sit down with your thoughts, it just kind of helps to give you more focus and to kind of put things in perspective so you don't feel as overwhelmed or defeated or discouraged by all these different thoughts and ideas swirling around in your head. The first one is to sit down and reflect on your values when it comes to the idea of you being a fit and healthy person, living that lifestyle. This is a question that I like to ask a lot of my clients starting out, especially if they've never been fit before. Like I said, they're so detached from that idea. Like, let's talk about the idea of you being a fit person. So, and just the values that come from that, self-discipline and stepping out of your comfort zone and being resilient, all those things that arise from that. The second one is making a list of the people closest to you. Do they share similar values when it comes to these things? Are they supportive of you in these changes you're making? And what conversations do you need to have with people around you, if any? Because like we said, if they're people you already know aren't going to be supportive, then you may elect to not have that conversation with them, and that's okay too. And do the people around you know how important these changes and making them are to you in your lifestyle? And then the final question that I had in mind for you to sit down with is to set boundaries for yourself and to take this seriously. Put your workouts in your calendar, right? Block that time out, be intentional with that, and learn how to say no. If you have already blocked out 5:30 p.m. for your workout time and you're headed out the door after work and somebody comes to you last minute asking you, sure, yeah, I'll get right on that first thing tomorrow. I have an appointment coming up. I will talk to you later.
Right.
And just treating it almost as like a doctor's appointment, and honoring that time. So these were, like I said, just some things to sit down with and reflect on, so that going forward, you have a better idea of what that support looks like from yourself and from others. So I will share this later, separately.
Oh, okay.
Okay, I was trying to do a shot of it.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
No,
Look,
already did it.
Yeah, I
did it.
took a.
you got it. Oh, okay, good.
I already did
Good, good, good. Well,
We-
that
it. We were listening.
okay.
Yeah.
And then, as I mentioned, there are people who, once you have evaluated the people in your life and whether or not they will be a good source of support for you, if you feel like you need additional support with professional guidance, then please be sure to book a call with me. And you can scan the QR code, or if you're like an aging auntie like me, you don't know how QR codes work, you can reach out to me directly. You can do it the old school way. I have all my contact information posted as well, so we can feel free to do it that way. Just don't contact me via snail mail, because motivation is fleeting, and by the time I get that letter, you're gonna be over it. So
Right. I'm a real auntie. I didn't know what snail mail was. Okay, I think you meant the post office. Okay.
The post office, yes.
Okay, gotcha now.
I didn't know either. So what?
Yes,
Mail.
and so to scan the QR code, you're going to take your phone, you're going to open up your camera, and you're going to aim it at the QR code, and then a yellow website is going to come up. You're going to click on that, and then from there, this is going to send you to the website where you can book a call with me.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
I got it. I finally figured that QR
right, and I wanted to share that because, like I said,
I
was holding up the line one day, and they're like, "Just scan the QR code." And I'm like, "I don't know how to do that."
It took a while.
How do you spell your Cash App?
Say, is that the same as snail mail?
But I want to thank y'all again so much for taking the time to have this conversation. I really enjoyed it, and y'all brought up a lot of other good points. And I definitely want to have a conversation about people pleasing. I might do that next time. But
Absolutely.
and
Absolutely. I see that.
with y'all having support systems around you in various forms, that is really truly a blessing. And looking at how much progress y'all have made on this journey, I can see where having that support has been really helpful to you, especially considering things that happen in life and how it's easy to get off track. You know, you having the support systems that you have has really been a blessing, and I'm glad that you all have that. And I also want to thank y'all for being my support system with everything that I do. And it helps me to continue to step out of my comfort zone and to work on my self-discipline, because I have people who love me and support me unconditionally. So I just want to spread that love that I get from y'all. So thank you.
Well, you're doing great, and we appreciate it.
You're welcome. You're
Proud
welcome.
of you.
It's our pleasure and our honor to be a part of this.
Oh,
and,
yeah.
And so grateful. I don't know. I think I tell you this a lot, but so grateful that you know, just the beginning of doing the Workout Buddy, which it seems like it was just a few months ago, and then I look back and say this has been years. And the thing that is a little shocking, but reminds me that I think people ought to maybe want to be aware of. This is a journey. It does not happen overnight. And allow yourself some grace. And that if you haven't lost 80 pounds in 2 months, as we started saying, that you maybe your goals are a little unrealistic, and just be kind to yourself. It's going to be a 2 steps forward and 1 step back sometimes until it gets. But the journey is so very worth it, and it's an ongoing journey. Still on the journey. We'll always be on the journey. I will always be on the journey.
Thank you for pointing that out.
Oh, yeah, and the sessions, and I mean the group and the Workout Buddy is all just so encouraging, and I look forward to the sessions on Tuesdays, Wednesdays, and Fridays.
Friday.
So I'm gonna do those regardless.
I love it. And y'all have certainly made the choice on how you're aging, and you're sticking to it. You know, we have ages in the groups that range from 30s to 70s, right? And so we all stick with it. And I'm so proud of y'all. So proud of y'all.
Well, thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
All right. Well, I am going to log off, and I want everybody to enjoy the rest of their Sunday. Let me stop sharing here. And please reach out to me if you need any support or any guidance from me on your fitness journey.
You always there.
Oh, okay.
You're always